It's your local Swindon 105.5.
The cost of living crisis is incredibly popular in the news this week, as the Prime Minister and the Chancellor have done a U-turn on the mini-budget announced last week. But how are people aged 20 to 25 coping with the national crisis? Although the national youth unemployment rate is at its lowest since 1992, the government website states that if you were an apprentice aged 21 and in the first year of your apprenticeship, you would only be entitled to £4.81 per hour. But it gets better when you reach 21, as you're entitled to £9.18 an hour and £9.50 when you reach 23. However, some people are struggling. Graduate Matt Rooks-Taylor tells me that as a student, he would struggle to even get into lesson due to the cost of fuel.
So, as a student, the cost of living crisis affected me quite hard. I commuted to uni every day, so the high petrol prices were a massive pain. Food as well became harder to get a decent lunch, especially on a student budget. Add that to paying rent to my mum, and I had basically next to nothing to just spend on myself every month. So I couldn't really go out with my mates and just couldn't really enjoy myself, to be honest.
However, it seems that for graduates like Matt, opportunities related to his field of study are difficult to come by, and he has ended up working somewhere very unexpected.
To be honest, I was that struggling and unemployed person. I came straight out of uni with a 2-1 degree in journalism, and I'm currently finding myself working 10 hours a day in a cake factory. Just because it's so difficult to get a degree-related job as a graduate. I'm applying for different jobs every day, but you don't get them because there's obviously people with more experience out there. It doesn't feel like there is much help available, if I'm completely honest. Kind of feels like once you leave uni, you just end up in the wild.
Now, when people find themselves in financial trouble, they often refer to the bank of mum and dad. But it seems that even that is becoming a source that can no longer be relied on.
I think a lot of people our age have no choice but to turn to their parents. Speaking as a graduate, currently on minimum wage, it is extremely tough. But equally, parents can't support young people all the time, and often they struggle themselves, so it's difficult for everyone. I've had to start paying more to my mum as the bills are just starting to get ridiculous, so young people especially struggle, but it's everyone. It's not just one particular set of people, it's across the board.
Now, as we said, the Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng has done a U-turn on his mini-budget announced last week. But he recognises that things cannot stop there, and something must be done to support Britain in this national crisis.
We are listening and have listened, and now I want to focus on delivering the major parts of our growth package. Because with energy bills skyrocketing, a painful COVID aftermath, war on our continent, a 70-year high tax burden, slowing global growth rates, and glacially slow infrastructure delivery, we couldn't simply do nothing. We can't sit idly by. What Britain needs more than ever is economic growth, and a government wholly committed to economic growth. That is why we will forge a new economic deal for Britain.
Now, I'd like to thank Matt for answering our questions on his situation and his take on the crisis in hand. But we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share your experiences or even just have a say on the situation, then you can either email us on studio@swindon1055.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for listening. I'm Ben Morris.